Right now I'm playing catch up. I'm actually trying to like get some edits done. It's a little hectic at the moment because we have festivals in a couple weeks. I'll be shooting 98 Rockfest in Charleston and also in Tampa. And then a week after that, we got Rockville. At the moment though, before I can tackle those with any type of peace of mind, I have about 4 interviews that I gotta knock out. I got 4 or 5 portrait sessions. We were shooting with Lauren on Friday and just finished up a shoot yesterday. Yeah, and then I also have a music video that we're tackling this Saturday with a band called Conjure. I don't know, right now I got some packages I'm about to open up. I'm trying to catch up with like little things, so basically like light bulbs for these, just try to keep those pretty bright. And then also just some things for the studio. I'm a little overwhelmed. I'm trying to take a moment to like do this. I'm trying to just keep these updated just for my own well-being. I know like some are a little bit more interesting than others. Thanks to Lauren for giving me kind of a boost with one of the most recent ones. Pretty much anything with her on it is like internet gold. I guess I'll open some of these things up and then kind of go through an overview of like what it is that I've been doing. Right now I'm like restocking on a lot of film. For a while I was shooting a lot of 35mm, and it was only because I like got those point and shoots. Right now I'm selling the Yashica T4 because I like find myself really kind of gravitating towards the Contax T2 a lot more. Having that like manual aperture selection is like really nice. Also it just feels like it can handle, I guess, being thrown around a little bit. I know those cameras are like becoming super expensive now, so I'm like a little more nervous about carrying it around and bringing it to the festivals, but like I can't help but have it pretty much on my side. But as of recent, I got a Mamiya 7, and like I like thought about it for a while. I love shooting medium format, but like my go-to camera was the Rolleiflex, and as much as I love that camera, there's no light meter on it, and it just feels very fragile, and it's also in really good condition. So like I really worry about, I don't know, I really worry about it getting messed up or broken. It's just nice to kind of keep it as a studio camera. I wanted something that I could travel around with. I also wanted to get away from square format. God, the duct tape on this thing is ridiculous. This is about the 4th package I've gotten of some medium format film. Having the M7, I definitely want to keep stocked up just so I can like keep shooting. Having 6x7 negative is like nuts. But I'll talk about that a little bit later. And right now, like, I've actually found myself doing a lot more studio work. And because of that, I'm like trying to invest in some of the things that I wanted previously. Work's been pretty good. So, I don't know, I guess every now and then you kind of have to treat yourself a little bit. I find that treating myself means just like more camera equipment. I don't really splurge on anything else. I feel like everything that I like put my money into is always cameras or something to do with lighting. Like there's a stand that Alien Bee makes that has more of an arm than it does just like a typical stand. I find that in my small space, I really appreciate those a lot more. Also with video, just with like interviews and stuff, it's like nice to have that retractable arm that can kind of like bend and be out of the way when I need it to be. And one of my heavy duty stands recently broke on the joint. And I don't really trust it that much anymore, so I'm like, I don't know, these feel super sturdy. It's just nice not having that like real plastic feel to it, because that's what happened. I ended up tightening in one of these bolts a little bit too much, and then the joint just broke. I don't know what to do with it. It's just kind of a lightweight throwaway one at this point that I can just beat up, but these, I at least can know that I'm safe in whatever I put it on, as long as the counterbalance is good. Also ended up investing in a 83-inch umbrella through Alien Bee. I always wanted like a really large umbrella system, I guess for scale. Let's see. I'll have to play with lighting a little bit, see how this looks in such a small space. I just love Alien Bee stuff. It's just so easy to use. Like you don't have to like build in and put brackets in and line things up and like stitch things together. And these things, it's just like, it's just common sense. Like, but yeah, that's pretty much it as far as packages. Plenty of these things. So I'll throw these away. We'll talk about what's been going on as of recent. I know last one I talked about like my shoot with Heather and Lauren. Like basically after that we rescheduled with Heather. Heather in here again. This time she wanted to do like not only studio, but like something a little bit more outdoor on location. We like traveled around basically like my neighborhood. Luckily, like with it being kind of older and a little bit more historic, like a lot of the scenery and houses are like really nice and big. Even some of the spots are more so abandoned, but there's a lot of character. Like you can find some really cool colors. Like a lot of the houses, you'll see like pinks, blues, I guess pretty vibrant scenery. I love my Rolleiflex, and I love like the images that I get out of it. Shooting Lauren and getting a lot of the results I did, it like brought me back to wanting to shoot medium format. I love the look of it, like the depth of field and the colors and like the sharpness is just insane. I find with like having to be at my computer all the time and like shooting video, it's just nice to have something that's a little bit more manual. You're going through the process of actually like loading in the film, putting in the canister, running through the process, and then seeing what you get out of it. Like when you get a successful negative, you can look at it and it's like this big, and you can get really good images out of 35mm, but there's just something about like medium format that like having that ability and that sharpness and that resolution. And digitally you can get a lot of really cool stuff, but like I see so much of the like overuse of like visco filters now, and so much the overuse of other people's presets. It's nice like basically shooting and almost obtaining some of the same results out of film, because overall like a lot of these people, they just try to replicate the look of film. Like I'm by no means like an elitist when it comes to that format. Like I make content of all types of variety, and I still love my Canon. I use that a lot pairing up in the studio, just because like sometimes you never know what happens. I've shot some vintage film. I get results that are a little disappointing every now and then. I find that I myself can't really like develop Ektachrome, and some color slide just gives me the biggest headache having to actually do. I use like a lot of the film photography project developers, and like they do really great for color negative, and they do wonderful for black and white, but I just find like varying results as strict as I am about the temperature and about the time of development, like no matter what, it just seems to wash away my colors. And like even with some of the rinsing, it's almost like I'm literally watching the tint of the water change as the colors run out of the film, and it drives me insane. Like, and the beautiful part about color slide is being able to see the result then and there without having to scan in and invert the image. Like you get to see this really beautiful color slide that is just like color positive, and I lose that completely because now my image is either just this like tint of a blue or this purple, and with like no color variation. It's all monotone, and that's become probably the most frustrating thing. But like that's also, I mean, I guess part of the character of using vintage film. Some of this stuff expired in like '87, I think is the earliest date that I have for some of my film. I've like loaded up as of recent. I think today's the last box of film that I'm getting. I bought a bunch of Kodak Portra. I got some 800 and some 400. Like, I mean, it's nice to have. The lens that I have on the Mamiya 7 is f4, so I still sometimes need a little bit of the help of the film. Broad daylight doesn't really like, it's not really anything I have to worry about, but I usually like to shoot at night sometimes, and then same with like dusk. And yeah, like speaking of that, like I just ended up pulling the trigger on a Mamiya 7. The cameras are great. I like researched it a little bit, and like I wanted something that was still portable and didn't carry as much weight, but gave me like a really sharp, clean image. Like right now we have so much going on and so many cool things happening. Like I'd love to capture it very high quality, and we have a lot of personalities coming over and a lot of things, so if like I can get a couple portraits, that'd be great. I guess it'd be nice to just come home and have a bunch of stuff to showcase. But yeah, it's shot with Heather. Had my friend Luis come over. We did a lot of like gel work with him, and he's doing that for his music. We like set up more of the video lights, did a couple like light stream and like some really dramatic. And then my friend Grace, she came over. She was like, it's one of the first, I guess, portrait sessions I took the Mamiya 7 out. She ended up like having this like red silk robe, and I'm trying to think of what we shot that with. I want to say it was a roll of Ektachrome. The reds are just like the most insane, sharp, bright, vivid red that I've ever gotten out of film. It makes for very interesting images of her, because like her lips were like a metallic red, and it matched perfectly with the red silk. So as a play around roll, we shot with Grace, and then Trying to think of what else, like utilize the macro lens a little bit more for video stuff, like just kind of snuck up on me, but we had 3 videos that we needed to get done for Loudwire, and then we ended up shooting Nita Strauss for Alice Cooper, and we did an interview with her. We got to go like on stage and kind of see their setup over at the Florida Theater. She's super sweet. It's funny because like Squiggy and her have more of a friendly relationship and know each other, so like they're very comfortable together. It makes it like super easy to shoot them. And Josh, her manager and boyfriend, is also like the coolest dude. I feel like the guy knows absolutely everybody. He was the drummer for 3 6 Mafia for a few years, and I know he did work with Juicy J. So the dude is just super rad, and he's just a hustler. Like, I don't know how else to explain him. He has a clothing line called Beverly Kills. He manages Nita Strauss. I know he does a lot of work with like wrestling out in like California. I mean, props. Like, the dude is just a really genuine, like, hardworking guy. So it's always fun running into him. We ended up having dinner the next day, and after like us kind of hanging out for a little while, we went up the street to Barnes and Noble. Come to find out, she's on the cover of Guitar World, and Josh ended up buying all the copies of it, and it was like a really genuine moment, because like she was very emotional, and it was like a real kind of pure thing. She's so humble and sweet about like all of her accomplishments, and like you could see a genuine appreciation for everything that comes her way, and it's all well deserved. Just seeing the pride from her of having accomplished that, and also seeing the pride of Josh for her having accomplished that, like, it was a very sweet moment. And yeah, and like in a few days later, we ended up having an interview with the guys of A Day to Remember. We had Neil Westfall and Kevin Skaff, and we wanted to hear kind of about their signature models with PRS and ESP. And then I got to shoot the show. Like, it's funny, at a much younger age, like those were like A Day to Remember was definitely a band that I had listened to. I ended up shooting Papa Roach because we had just gotten there like right before their set, and then A Day to Remember after that. Right now I'm actually working on their interviews of trying to get those like finished up. I have a workload that just seems to get bigger and bigger every time like I step out of this house, so I'm trying to like play catch up. I have a meeting over at 6 for music experience, and then I'm pretty much just back here and on my computer again. I'm gonna try to get this edited and done tomorrow. Tomorrow we have our shoot with Lauren. Just kidding. I'll try to get this done maybe tomorrow, maybe tonight. Maybe I'll knock it out tonight. But we have our shoot with Lauren tomorrow, and I know she wanted to do some more like video stuff. Hopefully we can get something cool out of that. She's really sweet, and it's just like impossible to not get like good photos and good video of her. So that should be a lot of fun. So Friday we have that. Saturday, music video with this band called Conjure, and then after that it's just a lot of projects. Like it's just getting everything that I have on my backlog just knocked out, so that I'm not like stacking on top of stacking, because like that's where I'm at right now with it. Everything's been so like day by day by day by day that it's just giving me no time to like knock it out. It's just like one thing on top of another thing on top of another thing, which I like can't complain. I'm glad that I'm busy. Just looking at the whiteboard that I have is like exhausting. I'll be in New York for about 4 or 5 days, come the 12th through the 16th. Hopefully I'll see some of my friends out there. Got a wedding for my friend Scott coming up that I'll be shooting as well. We'll be doing some digitals and film with him. And then after that, it's just festivals. Like I said, 98 Rock Fest in Tampa and South Carolina. And then a week after that is Rockville. And then a week after that is Carolina Rebellion. So chaos is about to start, and I just hope I'm ready for it. But thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll try to keep you updated. Hopefully as the next 2 weeks comes along, I'll have something to show you. I think I'll release a video probably after New York. And then much love to everybody. I'll see you guys soon. Take care.